Oh, coming at you. Well, we're back at the zone of complexity. So last time I think I was talking about the fireplace here. The same sort of flush details that apply to the width of the fireplace also apply to the ceiling treatment. There's a pocket door here. We want it to be flush with the drywall, which means we need to recess the track. And there's a lot of specific details about how the wood jamb works. It's all very highly detailed, and these are the types of details that need constant refinement and review during construction to make sure that the most important line in the design is maintained, and we adjust things as necessary, but there's almost always a single line that we're trying to hit. And in this case, it's ceiling being flush, drywall being flush, door being flush, and trim being consistent. There's actually a lot of complexity with that, but that's a crucial element to check, double check, and triple check through construction. So Alice and I just had a big review of this. I refined some details. I have to make one little tweak. This is the type of detail, if you don't check consistently and you catch it when drywall's on, as finish carpenters are on site, and you got to cut into the stuff, you're doing a little bit of rework that you don't want to do. So this is something that we is front of mind, and we got lots of details for it, but we still have to constantly remind ourselves for some of these high-end finishes. But it's going to look great. Check it out later. All right, so we've got flangeless windows. They're wood, they're gorgeous. Install is a little bit different than maybe some typical windows. So you can see behind me, it's being installed flush with the sheathing, which means we can actually install it from the inside, which is easier, of course, to access. The windows stay safer. But the issue, of course, is you're worried that the window, once you put it in place, is going to fall out and get destroyed. So we've, a little solution for this is just attach some cleats to the outside, just across the corners. That means that the window is a flush during every install and definitely won't be falling out of the hole. So it's very easy to install it from the inside. And that's how we fasten it, because these wood jambs, we don't want any screws through it. It's all pre-finished. It's very nice. We use these clips. When it comes time to do the outside, we'll have scaffold. We'll just unscrew those cleats and then do the tape as described by the specifications. Then we can move on with our weatherproofing. It's a pretty slick way to do it. Keeps the windows safe. Carrying windows up through ladders can be difficult. Oftentimes you're using cranes for installs. As I said a few times on this project, crane access is a difficulty, so we try to avoid using that when we can. So this is a really good technique that seems to be working out pretty well so far. All right, this is our multi-slide window. It's coming from Loewen Windows. We're very excited to see it. It's big panels. It's about 14 feet long, and we have a lower bound and an upper bound, where the lower piece is this deck here. There's going to be pavers on this deck, and we want it to be flush with the inside flooring. So getting this detail to be flush, window's going to be installed basically on this surface. And then if we look up here, you can see this rim board is the line of the roof. There's going to be a shed roof over this, but it can't get too high. The upper bound is these windows up here. We can't be too high there. That ties into the window over there. And it's all related with the angle of the soffit. Some finite details. We're getting down to the inches yet again, more like the half inches or quarter inches, some cases eighths, going through the install of how this window goes in, working our way up. I always work with, whenever I can, is find out what is adjustable and what is non-negotiable, and that tends to reveal the solutions. And so in this case, we can only go so low because of the way the framing is, the steel structure, how much slope we need for the deck, and that's our lower limit. And then we just work our way up. And if there are things we need to adjust, we do them in a simplicity hierarchy where, take your easy wins first. And if something else needs to adjust, we can adjust something else. In this situation, we can adjust some strapping dimensions. And we can also slightly adjust the roof pitch slightly. And over a span of 4 feet, get an extra half inch or so that might be the one we need. So really looking forward to this install. It's a very big window and door. Right now it's getting stained to match all the other windows. Okay, awesome. So I called Loewen, the window manufacturer, to ask them exactly how this thing is coming packaged. Sometimes doors come fixed pane. Sometimes there's sections you can remove. This is a very large, very heavy door, and we're thinking about install, literally how we can physically get it in this place. There's a lot of obstacles. Turns out, after a quick phone call, I learned that it's a knockdown frame, so we get to assemble it ourselves, and each pane is separate. Just gonna be well below like the standard crane weight limit. We were thinking that possibly if it came as a fixed unit, that we'd have to get, an upsized crane, and there's issues with that access, crane pads that we've talked about previously. But it sounds like it's a relatively easy install with separate pieces, so I'm sure you'll see about that later. But just micro win of the day. So I find a lot about what my job actually is really condensing the complex and making it simple. It's very easy in jobs like this, or any sort of construction job. So many details, and there's issues in every single one, and you start sort of going down these rabbit holes of what if, and those are totally things you should be thinking about. But during the day, you still have to make progress and production, and I find a lot of what I do is simplify that process to think about what's really important today, even if we're thinking of all the things that could happen down the road, and we absolutely should be thinking about those things, but we can't let that stop progress. We can't let that paralyze us, so we have to move forward each and every day. And I find a lot of what I'm doing is finding that thread for like, what can we do today to move us along as we maybe find some more information, as we figure out install techniques. That's something I do day in, day out, but it only comes with experience. So myself and my team, we've got a lot of experience, and so we've gone through a lot of complexity. And once you've gone through it, you can see what makes it easy to achieve. And it's a little bit about what we do.